I think that guy just hit his garage door. Okay. Alright, we got a new mod here for the Jeep. As you already know by the title of the video, but there we go. Okay, you want to stay up? Got ourselves a winch here. So I'm gonna do an installation video. I don't think it's too hard. I don't have to hook it up to a fuse or anything like that, so I'm pretty sure I'll be able to, I don't know. Pretty sure I'll be able to install. I'm not really the most mechanically inclined, but I don't think it's too difficult to hook up. I don't know, hopefully I'll be able to figure it out. So we're pretty much gonna learn as I'm making the video here. But in case you don't know, I actually have a winch, plate here on my bumper. I made sure when I bought a bumper I had an option for a winch plate, so I do have that. This is an affordable off-road, they call it like the Shorty Elite or something like that. So in case you're wondering what kind of bumper it is, it's affordable off-road. Very good bumper. I've had nothing but great things to say about it. It's been absolutely perfect. So let's look inside the box here and let's see what we're working with. Alright, this is what we got here. Got the hook, the remote, which I actually ended up buying a wireless one, but I'll keep this anyway, obviously. There's no reason to get rid of it. And then there's the winch. There's the winch right down there. I'll tell you what, this thing is heavy. You don't realize how heavy these things are. Here's the roller thing. I forget what it's called, but this mounts up to the front on your bumper. I thought it included the hardware. I don't know if this includes the hardware or not. I may have to buy bolts. I thought it included all of it. But yeah, that will just mount up right up front there like that. So, I don't know, let me look around. This may not come with bolts. I thought it did. Well, that kind of sucks. I gotta go buy bolts now. I guess I'll have to go to the parts store. Oh, let's see. Does this say anything about what this comes with? No, I don't know. Maybe on the box. What it comes with? Yeah, I don't know. I thought it came with bolts. I guess not. So, I don't know. I'll have to go to the parts store. And then we'll grab the bolts for it and we'll start getting this thing put on. Alright guys. Took me a little while trying to get this on. What I ended up doing to get this on is there's bolts on the bottom of it. Okay, you'll see like 4 bolts. One, and one on the bottom for this thing here. I just undid it. I took a hammer. Voila, hammer. And I just bent it a little bit. That way I was able to slide it on. When you tighten it back up with the screw, it's gonna pull it back in a little bit again. So if you don't be afraid to bend it out a little bit. I didn't bend it too much, but I gave it enough just to kind of bend it out a little bit. I tested it and then it kind of slid right on. And then after that, I couldn't get it on my hands. I actually ended up just stepping on it. I straight up just stood on top of this and pushed it right on. So this was a little bit of a pain. If you have a vice grip, probably easier, but I don't have a vice grip, so. But we're hooking this up now. Get into these. This is pretty easy. Yellow with yellow. I'm gonna go crazy tight, just enough, just for now. I'll tighten it up with my ratchet. Red with red. And then I don't know if this one goes here or if this one goes on the bottom. I think this one goes on the bottom. I'll get back to you guys. I gotta figure out where this one goes. I don't know if this goes on the top one or the bottom one. I'm just assuming this goes here. It kind of makes sense. And then this one goes on the bottom. That's kind of how I think it would be. That way these are all, you know, they're all lined up. We'll be right back. Let me find out. All right, guys, figured it out. I was right. Okay. Yellow, obviously yellow, red with red. This large black one here connected to this box is like the circuit, not circuit breaker, but the solenoid, whatever it's called. That goes up to here. There's going to be a loose black wire that goes down. That goes down here on the bottom with this thinner black wire here. I guess that's like another ground for something else. So it looks like you have two grounds, but the one that goes on the bottom here, that's the one that's going to get connected to your battery. Okay? And then the small one here is the one that connects to the bottom. So let's carry this thing over. It's pretty heavy. I mean, this thing weighs quite a bit. I'm trying to think what I should do with this. I might just kind of push this out. Oh, you can't really push this out of the way. I don't know. I gotta figure out, because this wants to keep coming undone. I did it thinking these possibly moved to get that bracket on, but it didn't, so now I kind of screwed myself. It was zip tied on. I would leave it zip tied on as long as you can. That way prevent this that I'm dealing with now, but I should be able to figure it out. I don't think it's going to be too difficult to move this. I don't know, we'll see. This thing's heavy. I mean, this thing's got to be at least 50 pounds. I don't know. It's probably somewhere around 50 pounds. But everything seems to be hooked up pretty good. Make sure everything's tight. These were kind of a pain getting on. I just used a screwdriver. I tried to wedge it on, get a screwdriver and pop it on. It's pretty good. For whatever reason, this black one in the back, I can't seem to get it to fully go around, but it is what it is. I don't know. It refuses to go on. I mean, I tried to get a screwdriver on there. I've done everything. Yeah, I can't even get the screwdriver. It's just not going. So that's kind of set up so far. This I kind of like tucked around like a wire to kind of get some of the slack out. It was a little bit too much, but let's lift it up over there and let's put it on. I would set you guys down, but unfortunately I have nowhere to set you down at. So you guys are going to miss me struggling. I'm sure you guys would love to watch that, but unfortunately you're going to miss the struggle. Next time you see it, it's going to be actually on the bumper itself. Okay, well, it is official, guys. I'm a moron. It did come with the nuts and bolts in the bag, in the box, I mean. I just didn't see it. So every nut and bolt that I bought is not going to work, because I really didn't think this through. This is a thinner thread than the bolt that I was going to use, and then even for this, the bolt is too long. You need like a super narrow bolt. So yeah, I pretty much bought all this stuff for absolutely nothing, but who knows, I'm sure I can use it for something. It's good to have some nuts and bolts anyway. But yeah, don't do what I did and go to the parts store to grab all that stuff. It all comes in the box. I thought it did, I just didn't see it. They had it like buried in the corner of the box under something. It's not really their fault, it's my fault, but it comes in everything. So don't go out to the parts store and go buy nuts and bolts. That's pretty much it. Working on getting it installed now that I figured out exactly what was wrong. Like I couldn't figure out how to get it on. I'm like, why is it not going? And then I noticed that the bolt was hitting, and then I just so happened to find the nuts and bolts in the bag. When I saw the instructions, I saw that it came with it, and I'm like, oh, so it does come with it. And then sure enough, it was there. So, yeah. Whatever. I guess you live and you learn. But I gotta take this winch off now. I gotta move it or something. Just so I can... I'm trying to get a wrench on here. I should be alright. Probably get a wrench and then tighten it up. But, yeah, that's where we're at so far. So I gotta redo this now and bolt this up. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, it's officially done. It's all wired up, good to go. I will say, when you're putting these bolts in, since I bedlined this, it was hard trying to get these bolts to line up. I'm sure it's going to be different depending on the bumper you have and stuff, but don't tighten up each one. I would say just keep them all loose, just get it threaded in, go on to the next, you know, go on to the next. That way it's easier, because otherwise it's probably going to be a pain. So, there goes my instruction booklet just blowing in the wind. Oh. Okay, that didn't go far. Well, yeah, I just tucked up the wires under here. I went through this little, like the front part here, put the wires up through there, came up right along the frame, and went up right behind the light housing. The positive I put over here, there's a hole right there, and then the negative I went through the other side. You can see it here. The negative I came up through here, and then the positive I came over up through there, and then just wired it up. Now this is kind of ghetto, I have to admit. I couldn't find a spot to put this circuit breaker. I don't know, I couldn't seem to find a better way to mount it here. So if you guys have a solution, let me know. But as of right now, it's kind of just sitting there all ghetto, but it is what it is. It does work. I hooked up the wireless remote. I hooked it up right behind here on my bumper. Just put some zip ties, hook that up right there. I may end up moving it, we'll see, depending on wetness and dirt and whatever else. I may maybe try to hide it inside of the engine bay. I don't know yet. I'll see if I can try to hide it up in here. But as of right now, it's sitting there. You know, we'll have to find out how it is. Get my wireless remote. I bought the wireless remote, obviously. Let's go out. See, going out works. Okay, then if you want to go in, obviously you have in. I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's all she wrote, guys. It was a little bit harder than I thought. I thought it was gonna be easier, but I mean, I got it. That's all that matters. I'm gonna hook up the little ring thing they give you, the hook. I'm gonna hook the hook up. I'm gonna put my D-ring back on, and then it should be good to go. It says this thing's good for 50 feet. Let's see how far this thing can actually go for. That's still working. Well, the range is pretty good. I don't know, it's pretty far out, so if you need the winch this far, then you got a serious problem. But it seems the remote's pretty far. I'll actually test out the distance when I test out, I'm gonna do a video on me actually, like, you know, pulling the Jeep or something. I'll test out the range then. I'll kind of see how far it goes. I gotta untangle this now. But that's pretty much it, guys. What sizes? I used 5/8. That's one of the wrenches that I used. I would definitely get, if you don't have one, just buy one of these, a ratcheting 5/8, because I'll tell you what, at least for my bumper, getting on the inside bolts up there, you're not gonna be able to see them, but those bolts up in there, it's going to be a pain with a ratchet or something. You need to use a ratcheting wrench. So I definitely get one of those. I also use an 18mm for the bolts. For this here, it was an 18mm. And what did I use this for? It was a 5/8. I don't think I ended up even using that. But the two that I definitely used was the 5/8 wrench, ratcheting wrench. I would definitely use that, and an 18mm wrench. You're probably gonna need two of these, or just, you know, one with a ratchet and then one wrench, because you're gonna have to, you know, put one on here and then tighten the other. So probably better off just using two wrenches. That worked best for me. I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. You need this. What size is this? 13mm. It wasn't really the right size, but that's what I use to get my battery terminals off here. 13mm. Yours might be different, so. I mean, that's all she wrote, guys. I need how to use vice grips. I'd recommend, you know, having a screwdriver with you, maybe a hammer or something. Just a few basic tools, you know, just kind of have them around. But she's done. So I think it looks pretty good on there. I kind of don't like the wiring. There's a little too much wire. It's like pushed up against my grill. I don't know. There's not really much I can do about it. You know, I don't really know where else to put the wiring. So it's kind of just there for now. It is what it is, but it looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. I think once I finally get the other D-ring on and get it secured up, it's gonna look real good. But make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.